If you're a fan of automatic watches, which I'll assume you are since you're here, then like me, you're probably served up ads regularly from all kinds of unusual sounding brands. Often when scratching the surface on a website or forums, you discover that it's likely another branch of a larger company. Nothing wrong with that, of course, but it's always a bit more fun, to me anyway, to get to know a new microbrand that has a founder or a team of founders that are genuinely going out on a limb and trying to find a way to make a living in this extremely competitive industry. I've had a good run of French microbrands recently, and I started seeing a brand I'd never heard of before in Charlie Paris. Whilst they have a range of accessible quartz models, it was the Concordia that really stopped me in my search tracks. There is a blue automatic with a steel bezel that's particularly attractive, and I had that bookmarked for a few months. There are other details too, like the gorgeous stork logo that adds a bit of a whimsical, organic feel to the restrained design. And I would also be lying if I wasn't swayed by the word itself, Concordia. For someone of my generation, you're drawn immediately to the mighty supersonic passenger plane that was sadly decommissioned and not replaced since. However, as it turns out, Concorde means harmony or union in both French and English, and the watch is actually named after a research station in Antarctica. A French adventurer crossed the Antarctic in record time in 2019, over 52 days in temperatures down to minus 50 degrees. And he wore a blue Concordia watch for the entire expedition. The brand has been around since 2014, started by two friends passionate about watches. Neither friends named Charlie, by the way. Every watch is designed and assembled in France with a 2-year warranty and quality components used. I'm lucky to have an exclusive here with a brand new green dial on lend, which has just been made available on the site. So this is all good news so far, but should you part with your hard-earned money? Let's find out. You don't always get great packaging with your new watch purchases, but this is an exception. A high-quality box and documentation, but also a handy travel pouch for your watch is all included, which is great to see. I would like to cover sizes first, since it is such an important part of a watch buying decision. The Concordia is exactly 40mm in diameter, 47.3mm lug to lug, 20mm lug width, and 12.4mm thick. It's rated to 300 meters water resistance, resistant to magnetic fields in accordance with ISO 764. So far so good then. These are all great specs. But let's take a closer look at this dial. The sunburst green in combination with gold colored applied indices and hands is an attractive combination. There's good reason for why this seems to be the most popular combination of the Longines Zulu time watch that I reviewed recently. At just under the 12 position, we find the brand name and logo that again I'm a big fan of. But I appreciate that this is highly subjective. And at just above the date complication of the 6th position, we find the model name and water resistance rating that's matching the gold color of the indices and hands. I don't find it too crowded, and whilst I could definitely take or leave the date complication, that is again something that is included in many watches since the audience seems to prefer it. So who am I to complain about date complications? There are some small things I should highlight though. But before we turn this feather into a hen, there is no way you'll see this with the naked eye. Very close up, there are some slight rough surfaces on the edges of the indices, and the seconds hand also has a small blemish. But I seriously debated if I would even mention this, since they are so small and we're not after all scrutinizing a Grand Seiko watch here. I would not let this stop you from a purchase. Covering this attractive dial, we find a domed sapphire glass that's no less than 3mm thick and with decent AR coating. The unidirectional bezel is quite a satisfying feel despite its small surface area for gripping. It lines up perfectly, and the aluminium insert creates a warm look that should age nicely with some wear. You would not fare too well trying to set this with wet hands in a salt water, but you'd probably be more likely to time your eggs here, so no worries there. But the water resistance does lend itself to diving, so you'd not have to worry about this watch in any situation really. The case is a tried and tested design with its downturned lugs, brushed upper lugs with high polished sides. It's attractive and comfortable without drawing too much attention to itself. I love the look on both the bracelet and leather. The crown is really my only complaint. It is very attractive with its color matched ring, and it's also signed with what might be a glow pattern, but the wedge shape is way too hard to grip. It also doesn't really pop, so it's hard to know if you fully unscrew this crown all the way. This is also a movement that takes a little bit of effort to wind, which definitely doesn't help make this process easier. If you wear yours regularly, then no big deal, but as good as it looks, it's a frustrating detail to me, but perhaps my oversized fingers are to blame. It wouldn't be the first time that was the case. Flipping the watch over and we get a good look at the Soprod P024 movement, which is basically a clone of the ETA 2824. It's a Swiss movement with a power reserve of 38 hours and an accuracy rating of -0 to +14 seconds per day. We get a signed rotor, and regardless of how rudimentary a movement may look, this might be someone's first watch with a see-through window into the machine that drives it in the back, and that is always fascinating. The bracelet is a quality affair with thick individual links, and it tapers all the way down to 16mm from 20, which I have come to recognize as the only way forward for me and bracelets. It's an oyster-style bracelet, and it's both heavy and sturdy, but importantly, quick release, so very easy to change to something else, and that's even more impressive considering the solid end links fitting absolutely perfectly. Due to the quick release function, you can change it so quickly to something else. For instance, this leather strap, which is also stamped with a logo and of a very high quality, and it's very comfortable straight out of the box. I'd highly recommend ordering yours with an extra strap from the company. Coming back to the steel, this is a pressed buckle with mill clasps, and I don't mind it. It's compact and signed with 4 micro adjusts. The only thing I don't love is the pointed security fold over, but it's not as sharp as the one on the Tudor Pelagos that I dare to complain about recently. The one small detail to be aware of is that it's pin and collar, so you'd likely take it to your local Mr. Minute or perhaps Monsieur Mini and spend the $15 and never worry about that again. The Lume is very good, with enough layers to last you through the night. Let's check it out. So I hope you agree with me that this is an attractive design with plenty of personality, and with the added fun feature of being another great brand from France that appears to have customer service nailed, and a website that is informative and easy to use. I also love the charming translation of many words and watch terms, and the photography is very good. So a word on pricing. If you love the look, but you're on a strict budget, you can order a quartz version for €295 with a sweeping seconds Seiko VH31 movement, and you can even get it on steel for €345. If you're not into steel bracelets, but you still want a Swiss automatic movement, you can save yourself €50 and get this one at €795. And if you do want this exact one here, it's €845 for all color combinations. So if you're price conscious, you have plenty of options here to obtain your Concordia at a price that works for you. I love the green and gold combination, but if I was buying one, I'd probably still get that steel colored bezel and either a blue or a white dial, since they are just so gorgeous, to my eyes at least. So what do you think? What color would you get, and do you have any personal connection to the brand? Perhaps you just like storks like me. Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.